From eerie footage capturing a kid's imaginary friend to what could be the clearest evidence yet of Bigfoot's existence, and even a chilling clip of what looks like a real-life Dementor lurking on someone's porch. These are some of the most unsettling moments ever captured on camera. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single one. We've all heard about cryptids, but when it comes to truly terrifying legends, few are as haunting as the Ohio grassman. Sightings of this creature stretch back centuries, with some of the earliest modern reports dating to the late 1800s. In 1869, witnesses described a towering ape-like beast devouring grass and wheat. Not long after, another account claimed the same creature tried to drag a man from his carriage, only retreating after being pelted with stones. Fast forward to 1978, when a family in Minerva, Ohio, reported a huge, hairy figure lurking around their property, at one point even peeking through their kitchen window. Police who investigated discovered massive footprints and an unbearable stench in the area. In 1995, hikers in Cuyahoga Valley told of hearing blood-curdling screams before something enormous charged at them through the swamp. Then, in 2015, terrifying howls were recorded in the same park, and by 2017, a video emerged that some claim might be the clearest look yet at the grassman. And these encounters didn't stop there. In 2022, a hiker claimed to capture the grassman multiple times during his trek through the forest. In his video, the creature seems to stalk him, its glowing eyes watching from the trees, almost like a warning. So, what exactly is the grassman? Often called Ohio's version of Bigfoot, it's described as standing 7 to 10 feet tall, with immense strength and a foul odor. Unlike Sasquatch, it's believed to live in groups and even construct crude grass huts for shelter. Honestly, the grassman sightings give me chills. It's not just the size of this creature that's terrifying. It's the way it seems to stalk families, peek through windows, and even charge at hikers. To me, that feels less like a wild animal and more like something intelligent, something watching, waiting, and deciding when to get closer. A family was on a late-night drive when they passed through a dark, quiet neighborhood, completely unaware that they were about to capture something that's now terrifying the entire internet. The clip, originally uploaded on a Spanish X account, has already been viewed more than 310,000 times. And once you see it, you'll understand why.
Oh my gosh! So what is that? What
the hell?
Look, it's just moving.
What am I looking at?
Scary! Hey!
On the porch of a nearby house, a figure begins to take shape. It looks eerily similar to a Dementor straight out of Harry Potter, jet black, wraith-like, and moving with an unnatural presence. The shadowy being drifts around the windows as if searching for something before slowly dissipating into the night air. The figure resembles more than just a trick of light. It looks like a soul torn from the depths of hell, a dark phantom with a purpose no one can understand. Now, if I ever saw something like that in real life, I'd never step outside at night again. The way it looms, almost stalking the house, leaves only one chilling question. What exactly was it after? Creepy doesn't even begin to describe it. Trail cameras usually capture deer, bears, or the occasional trespasser, but every so often, they record something far more unsettling. This particular image, uploaded to the Crawler Sightings subreddit, comes from upstate New York. It wasn't shared by the camera's owner directly, but by a friend who had received the photo about 2 years ago. The camera was set deep in the woods, and what it caught is nothing short of disturbing. The figure in the frame doesn't resemble a human. It looks almost transparent, disjointed, unnatural. You can clearly make out a head with eyes staring directly into the camera and the faint outline of a body beneath it. After hearing about creatures known as crawlers, the poster began to wonder if this eerie figure could be one of them, or perhaps something even more spectral. The friend who received the image admits he has no explanation for what the lens picked up, and to this day, no one can say for sure. Personally, I can't shake how unnerving this image is. It feels too deliberate, too otherworldly to simply dismiss as a person. And for those saying it's just a glitch or camera distortion, how does the distortion perfectly form a head, a body, a neck, and a pair of eyes staring right back at you? That doesn't feel like coincidence. That feels like something else entirely. We often dismiss old stories and folklore as nothing more than tales crafted by our elders, but this chilling video suggests they may have been telling the truth all along. The footage comes from a workshop in South America, where a security camera captured something deeply unsettling. At first, you can hear the dogs barking frantically at a woman dressed in white as she drifts across the street. But what truly froze viewers in terror wasn't her presence. It was the bone-chilling scream that followed. Many who have seen the video are calling it undeniable proof of La Llorona's existence. For those unfamiliar, La Llorona, the weeping woman, is a legendary figure in Hispanic folklore, especially feared in Mexico and the southwestern United States. She is said to be a restless spirit, forever wandering near rivers and lakes, mourning her drowned children with a scream that can shatter the soul. Skeptics might argue this was just someone in a white dress pulling off a prank, but the sheer panic in the dog's barking, paired with that horrifying, blood-curdling wail, makes it hard to dismiss so easily. If this video is real, then maybe, just maybe, the terrifying warnings our elders passed down weren't just stories after all. Most of us think of the woods as calm, peaceful places, but sometimes they reveal things we never imagined could exist. This particular video comes from a popular Sasquatch channel called Squatch Mafia. As the name suggests, they regularly upload Bigfoot sightings from around the world, but this one feels different. The clip appears to show not just one, but two humanoid figures running through the woods, one of them clutching what looks like a chicken. According to the video's title, this could be evidence of a juvenile Sasquatch stealing livestock, and based on the footage, it certainly seems possible. If you look closely, you'll notice the second figure peeking out from behind a tree, just beside the one holding the chicken. To me, this is some of the clearest footage of these creatures I've seen so far, and at first glance, it looks surprisingly believable. But as always, there are skeptics. One analysis even focused on the creature's gait, pointing out that its shin rise angle measured at 71 degrees compared to the 52-degree rise in humans. Others argue that the arms don't appear long enough for it to be a true Bigfoot. But here's what they may be overlooking. If this really is a juvenile Sasquatch, then its proportions might not match the adult reports we're used to hearing. So the question remains, is this a genuine sighting of a young Sasquatch or just another internet hoax? If you're a fan of thrill and adventure, chances are you've heard of Survivorman, the Canadian survival show hosted by Les Stroud, packed with raw survival challenges and outdoor adventures. It was already intense enough on its own. But on May 27th, 2015, during one of its Survivorman Bigfoot episodes, something was captured on camera that sent shockwaves through fans everywhere. When the footage is slowed down, you can clearly see a massive, dark figure moving through the woods. At first glance, it looks like a bear, but the towering height, the long arms, and the sheer bulk of its body suggest otherwise. This thing checks nearly every box of a classic Bigfoot sighting: black fur, intimidating size, and an unmistakably human-like stride. And for those quick to dismiss it as just a guy in a costume, here's the reality check. The figure is climbing up the steep side of a mountain with unbelievable ease. Let's be honest, nobody in a bulky, oversized Bigfoot suit could pull that off. The terrain alone makes it nearly impossible. What makes this even more compelling is that the footage is credited to Todd Standing. For anyone familiar with Bigfoot research, his name needs no introduction. Todd has dedicated much of his life to chasing these elusive creatures, producing documentaries, and collecting evidence that keeps the debate alive to this day. So, was Survivorman's crew lucky enough to get one of the best pieces of Bigfoot evidence ever aired on television? Or was it just another mystery hidden in the wilderness? There are whispers in Japan that rivers hold more than just fish, that something sinister lurks beneath the surface, waiting to drag the living into the depths. Meet the kappa. Known as the river child, this amphibious yokai is said to inhabit lakes, ponds, and streams. Its form is unsettling, described as a mix between a turtle, a monkey, and a lizard. Legends speak of scaly skin, webbed hands, razor-sharp teeth, and most distinct of all, a dish-like cavity on its head, which must remain filled with water to sustain its power. What makes the kappa especially chilling is the alleged evidence. Mummified remains, like a webbed hand and foot preserved by the Shimazu family since 1818, have been displayed in Kyushu. Other supposed kappa mummies can still be found enshrined in temples and even inside a centuries-old sake brewery. It is said that kappa aren't just monsters, they're tricksters too. Some stories describe them pulling childish pranks, making rude noises, or peering beneath kimonos. But darker tales speak of livestock drowned, children dragged beneath the water, and even a mythical shirikadama, a soul ball that they rip from their victims. Skeptics argue their relics were Edo period fabrications, crafted from animal parts to draw pilgrims and frighten peasants. Yet despite doubts, the artifacts continue to spark belief. Whether mere folklore, clever hoaxes, or something truly lurking in Japan's waters, the kappa remains one of the most chilling and enduring figures in Japanese mythology. This family was out for a simple walk near a wooded area in Minnesota when they encountered something that left them absolutely terrified. Near Chisago Lake, just before sunset, a family spotted a strange creature stalking a herd of deer. The mother, who managed to film the encounter, insisted it wasn't just another blurry shadow in the distance. The figure clearly moved its head and ears, even turning to look directly at them before snapping its gaze back toward the deer. She described its unnerving features: long arms hanging forward, pointed ears, and what looked like a thick mane of hair around its neck. Nothing like any bear, cougar, or known animal in the area. What chilled her most was how the creature completely ignored the humans, focusing only on the deer as if it were preparing to hunt.
I seen its ear flick.
Oh,
Oh my god!
And this wasn't the only frightening account from the region. A family friend once described seeing a massive creature sprint across the road on two legs bent backwards, an image so disturbing it left him shaken for years. Taken together, these encounters suggest something truly unknown may be lurking in the Minnesota woods. And honestly, if the video and her story are genuine, there's no way I'd ever set foot there after dark. In the wooded hills and shadowed valleys of western Pennsylvania, tales of Bigfoot have lingered for generations, long before modern researchers arrived with plaster casts and trail cameras. The native tribes of this region spoke of towering, hair-covered beings that roamed the forests, keeping their distance, yet always watching. But now, with cameras in our hands, the legends are no longer just whispers. They're captured on film. If you can't spot it yet, let's zoom in. Look closely. That's no bear or ape. The face is distinctly humanoid, with a defined nose and eyes that seem to stare directly back at the camera. A bear's features are completely different, yet here we see something undeniably human-like hiding in the trees. According to reports, this footage was filmed on August 23, 2014, by a Bigfoot researcher known as Dr. Squatch, and it's not an isolated case. Researchers like John Green, along with countless local investigators in the Chestnut Ridge area, have gathered hundreds of similar reports. Skeptics dismiss them as hoaxes or simple misidentifications, but believers point to the striking consistency of these encounters across decades, arguing it's impossible to ignore. To this day, Bigfoot remains deeply rooted in Pennsylvania folklore, a silent guardian, or perhaps a lurking menace, watching from the dark Appalachian woodlands. The world is divided into two kinds of people, those who believe in ghosts and those who don't. But this video might just terrify both. It comes from a home in South America, where the owners were shocked to discover something deeply unsettling happening inside their closet. Watch closely. When the owner opens the closet door, we see what looks like a creepy little doll inside, but nothing that should be strong enough to rattle the door like that. Yet when he shuts it again, the violent shaking starts all over.
Vamos a abrir a ver qué. Ahí se mueve. Sí.
He even opens the drawers and shows every corner of the closet, as if to prove there's nothing else hiding in there. But the tension builds until, out of fear, he finally pulls the doll out.
Y que hay ropa, y que no hay nadie que pueda.
Here's the chilling part. There's clearly nothing visible that could be causing the rattling, and yet it continues. All signs seem to point back to that strange, unsettling doll. Now, if we think logically, maybe vibrations from the door or movement in the house could explain it, but according to the uploader, only he and his grandmother were home at the time. No one else was there. So that leaves us with a terrifying question. By removing the doll from the closet, did he also set free whatever was trapped inside? Next, we have a dash cam recording that captures every driver's worst nightmare: driving alone on a desolate road at night. At first, everything looks perfectly normal, until this happens. The driver barely manages to avoid a figure, a woman dressed in white, standing directly in the middle of the road, signaling for him to stop. It was definitely humanoid, but the real question is, was it even human at all? Think about it. If she truly needed help, why stand in front of a speeding car instead of on the roadside? And why appear in the middle of nowhere with no other sign of life around? To me, this feels like something much darker, a trap, a lure designed to get the driver to stop and step out. But for what purpose? That's the part only God knows. This isn't the only time something like this has been caught. Another video surfaced on TikTok, this one from a driver's dash cam, recorded on yet another lonely, desolate road at night. And then, this happens. Just like the previous case, a woman dressed in all white appears, standing in the middle of the road, motioning for the car to stop. Thankfully, the driver keeps his wits about him and swerves out of the way, continuing forward. But here's the disturbing part. This was in the middle of nowhere. Even if it were a hoax, who would go to such extreme lengths just to pull it off? The more likely explanation is far more sinister. Maybe it's a ploy to lure drivers out of their vehicles, for robbery, or perhaps something much worse. And that's only if she was human. If not, then we're dealing with something that's far beyond human and far more horrifying. A TikTok user recently shared a chilling video passed down from his uncle, who claimed he was stalked by something so strange, it left the entire TikTok community shaken. The footage itself dates back to the early 2000s, but even after all these years, what it captures is beyond unsettling. At first glance, the scene looks ordinary, but if you focus on the tall grass, you'll notice it. Something lurking, slowly, almost predator-like, sneaking through the field. The way it moves is enough to send chills down your spine. You can even catch sight of what look like pointed ears. Some say it resembles a bear, others a cougar. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Many viewers believe it might be something far more terrifying. Some claim it could be Bigfoot, while others suggest something even stranger, like a giant insect-like creature stalking the cameraman. And then, at the very end of the video, it rises, clear enough to reveal a humanoid form, which begs the question, what exactly was watching from the grass? If you recognize this creature or have your own theory, drop it in the comments below. I always say, never ignore your kids when they talk about their imaginary friends, because sometimes they might not be so imaginary after all. This footage comes from a home security camera, showing a father and son just relaxing in bed, when the boy casually mentions his scary friend. What happens right after will make your skin crawl.
Scary friend.
There was definitely something there, and considering the timing, I can't shake the feeling that this was the very same scary friend the child was warning about. The father refuses to believe him, even after this encounter, but denial won't keep you safe. My advice is, acknowledge the friend, make peace with it, because you never know when it'll be the one to close the door on you next. When a family from Costa Rica set up security cameras around their house, they had no idea that instead of catching a thief, they would record something that would make their blood run cold. If you think this is just a clever video edit, then how do you explain the dogs barking non-stop at the strange, four-legged figure that moves across the yard? It means the dogs felt something was really there, and that this figure is real. Some people are sure it's a chupacabra, the legendary creature from American folklore that's said to drink the blood of goats and cattle. Others think it might be a shapeshifter, a troll, or even something from hell. Whatever it was, one thing's for sure, those dogs were incredibly brave to get that close. A game camera was set up on the demo property near Dubina, Texas, with a clear goal, but instead of catching normal wildlife, the camera captured something far more disturbing. The photo shows a strange, blurry creature that quickly sparked debate. Some say it looks like a monkey. Others think it's a chupacabra or even a skinwalker, a creature from Navajo legend said to change shape. One biologist said it might be a baby black antelope, but the property owner doesn't agree. He says there are no exotic animals in the area, and honestly, if you ask me, the limbs look way too thin to belong to any normal animal. So, what is it? Just a sick animal with mange, or something we're not meant to understand? When he was heading home after dark, this man saw a pair of glowing eyes high up in a palm tree. The video clearly shows a creature, and if you're thinking it's just an ape, it doesn't look like one. To me, it looks more like a person. Its front limbs are really long, and it moves with a lot of control and speed. Even the shape of its body looks more like a human than an animal. Bigfoot even came to mind, but that can't be, right? Bigfoot isn't supposed to live anywhere near palm trees, or at least that's what we've always believed. On Loch Maury, strange sounds and loud splashes started happening, and people quickly took notice. Locals said they heard noises coming from the water that they had never heard before. Some even claimed they saw waves, like something huge was moving under the surface. Because of all the mystery, the team at the Mariners Museum decided to check it out from above. They sent up drones and helicopters to better understand what was happening in the lake. In the footage they later shared, you can clearly see something moving in the water. something big, and something no one could really explain. Nobody knows what it is, but that didn't stop people from guessing. Many started to believe it might be Chessie, the legendary sea creature from Chesapeake Bay. Some say Chessie is like the American version of Nessie, the famous monster from Loch Ness. And honestly, since we still don't know everything about what lies in deep lakes and oceans, maybe something surprising did rise to the surface. When a fisherman from New South Wales went out to fish in Pittwater Bay, he never thought he'd catch something he had never seen before. The fisherman said the creature was about 9 feet long, with a thick head, sharp curved teeth like nails, and even another set of teeth growing from the roof of its mouth. It kind of looked like an eel, but nothing about it matched known types like the pike eel, silver eel, or long-tail moray. People on social media had a lot to say. Some were amazed, but others called it things like a monster from a horror movie, evil, or something that shouldn't exist. A few even joked that it should be sent back to the spaceship it came from. I think it's one of those rare deep-sea species we were never meant to see, and I might be wrong, but it gives me the same uneasy feeling as when you see something that feels off. A team from the oil company BP was using a remotely operated underwater vehicle at a depth of 4,400 feet near an oil well in the Atlantic Ocean. It was supposed to be a regular operation, but then something strange caught their attention, a creature they had never seen before. The creature looked like a bunch of long, floating threads, almost like spaghetti moving through the water. As a joke, they immediately called it the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Curious, they sent the video to deep-sea experts. The experts explained that this species can grow up to 130 feet long, which makes it one of the longest animals on Earth, even longer than a blue whale. I don't know about you, but that's more than enough reason for me to stay near the shore when I go swimming, because who knows what else is down there, right? Michelle Havlick found the strange, wrinkly, and hairless body of an animal that her dog had pulled out of a pool in her backyard. The animal was about 7 inches long and looked like a mix between a pig and a squirrel. Nobody on social media could figure out what it was, so Michelle decided to reach out to the Indiana Department of Natural Resources to get an expert's opinion. But while she quickly went inside to grab a bag to collect the animal's body, it mysteriously vanished. Could this have been some kind of alien experiment that people aren't supposed to see? Or do you think there's a simpler explanation, like maybe the animal just looked weird because it had been in the water too long and started to swell up? You know, the fact that it vanished while she stepped away for just a second, that's what really gets me. Maybe it was just decomposition, sure, but honestly, something about this one feels strange, right? In Los Mochis, a coastal town in the northwestern part of Mexico, the Murillo family runs a pig farm. But one day, a piglet was born on their farm that they had never seen before. The pig had only one head, but 2 body parts joined together. At first, the family thought that maybe 2 piglets had somehow fused together in the mother's womb. That would explain why it had double limbs and 2 tails. But when they posted a picture online, another family from Argentina shared a similar experience. These pigs with 8 legs are now being called spider pigs because of how they look. Some experts think these deformities might be caused by too many pesticides being used, especially in animal feed. But not everyone buys that explanation. Some people still believe these are genetically changed animals, maybe even created by aliens. To me, this pig doesn't just look unnatural, it looks designed. Maybe pesticides really are the cause, but the way those legs are placed so perfectly, I don't know. What do you think? And speaking of animal mutation, Shelby Hendershot, a farmer from the USA, recorded something truly shocking a calf like nothing she had ever seen before in her long career. Deformities like this can happen because of things like genetic mutations, problems during the early stages of embryo development, exposure to toxins or pesticides, or poor conditions in the womb. For example, when there are too many babies pressing against each other. What you're about to see might be upsetting for some people. The calf had 2 backsides and 7 legs, and the picture quickly spread online. But this wasn't the only animal with a mutation that Shelby had come across. Her next experience was even worse. A piglet that was stillborn and had no face at all. It was missing the basics. No nose, no eyes, no mouth, and not even the bones that make up a normal face. This kind of deformity is known as a severe craniofacial malformation, and like the calf, it can happen for many different reasons, like the ones already mentioned. Have you ever seen an animal that was deformed before? During an investigation of the deep sea in Bora Bora in June 2018, a team of divers had no idea that a sea monster from the deep would show up and actually come to their rescue in the water. The creature was big. You could clearly see its shadow, but it was obvious that it didn't like the light and wanted to get away from it as fast as possible. That's when the divers did something I could never do. They turned off all their lights, hoping that the creature might come closer or even try to communicate with them. It didn't take long before a pair of glowing eyes appeared in the dark. As soon as they turned the light back on, whatever it was started moving away again. If you ask me, it looked kind of like a huge lobster, but with more arms or legs than usual. To this day, the diving team still doesn't know what they saw. And honestly, maybe some things are better left swimming in the deep, far away from our eyes. This TikTok video was posted by a user who stumbled upon a strange blue light in the ocean. In the video, we can see the water's surface is illuminated with a strange yet mesmerizing blue glow. It's not any kind of paranormal phenomenon and is known as plankton lights. These lights occur due to bioluminescence in the water, often caused by an algae bloom of plankton. However, the mysterious aspect of this video isn't the plankton lights themselves. As the people recording the video get closer to the plankton lights, a shadowy figure can be seen in the water. The figure's silhouette resembles that of a human, or more precisely, a mermaid. It's only visible for a brief moment, but it's undeniably eerie. While it's possible that the appearance of this shadow is a result of the way low waves interact with light and can play tricks on the eyes, the lingering question remains: what if it's not just an eye illusion? This video comes from a security cam at an undisclosed police station, and it captures a rather unsettling scene. In the video, the entrance hall of the police station appears to be empty. However, after a moment, a smoky, translucent figure materializes behind the glass door. This mysterious figure proceeds to move toward the center of the door and then opens it. But as the door swings open, the figure vanishes. The appearance of this figure suggests that it could be a ghost or a spirit, possibly that of a child due to its relatively low height. The idea of encountering an unknown entity in this manner is certainly spine-chilling. Nonetheless, given that this is a police station, one might assume that they are equipped to handle such paranormal encounters. This video comes from Russia, and the uploader claims to have captured a sighting of a Russian Yeti. In the video, we can see the uploader driving along a snowy road at nighttime. As he continues driving, a tall white figure suddenly crosses the road ahead of the car. This figure appears to be sprinting across the road, prompting the driver to stop the car and contemplate what they've just witnessed. Upon closer examination of the slowed down video, it becomes apparent that the figure has white fur and is relatively tall in comparison to the distance it was seen from. It moved swiftly and disappeared in an instant. Also, Russia is known for its numerous reported Yeti sightings, so this video may be another addition to that intriguing Yeti sighting. What do you think about this mysterious figure? This video, uploaded by Discovery, appears to have captured the sighting of a megalodon in the ocean. In the video, a show host discusses with a guest who claims to have spotted a large sea creature on Google Earth in the ocean.
Agent who was studying the swarm noticed something out in the water.
Okay, kind of a speck.
Yeah, well, at this resolution, it's a speck. When they zoomed in, though, they got this. It's a little fuzzy, but I'd say that's a shark.
They analyze a zoomed-in satellite photo of this enormous creature. Even from a considerable distance, it appears to be quite massive. To emphasize the creature's size, they show another image taken by the same satellite, zoomed in to the same extent. In this second image, school buses can be seen for comparison. And even these buses looked tiny. When these bus photos are placed next to the creature spotted in the water, it becomes evident just how large the creature is. The guest estimates that the sea creature is at least 70 feet or possibly even larger in size. The show host, somewhat skeptical, asks the guest if it's the same creature that was spotted in another part of the ocean earlier. The guest suggests that it's possible, as great white sharks are known to travel long distances, so these creatures could do the same. All these facts indeed point toward the possibility that this may have been a megalodon sighting, potentially millions of years after it was believed to have gone extinct. The video comes from a homeowner who, one night, heard strange noises coming from the woods outside his house. His dog was also agitated, continuously barking. Curiosity and concern led him to take his dog outside to investigate, and what they witnessed was truly terrifying. In the video, the owner shines a flashlight into the woods as his dog investigates. However, in the background, there are two pairs of eerie eyes lurking in the darkness. These eyes remain perfectly still, unnoticed even by the vigilant dog. It appears that the eyes become aware of the owner noticing them, prompting both pairs to briefly hide. But when the dog eventually leaves, and the owner shines his light again, the lurking and stalking eyes reappear. This unsettling encounter raises questions about what these lurking and stalking beings might be. It's indeed a situation that calls for caution and possibly involving law enforcement to investigate further, as checking them alone could be an invitation to a bad encounter.
What these boys captured on camera is so deeply unsettling that some viewers have claimed to feel haunted after watching it.
What?
Our world is full of things that seem normal to us, but lurking in the shadows are those unknown entities that defy explanation. One of the most infamous of these is SCP-96, a fictional character, but many attributed its characteristics to the famous rake. This humanoid figure is said to haunt dense, quiet forests, staying out of sight until it's too late. According to the legend, if you so much as glimpse its face, whether directly, in a photograph, or even in a video, it falls into an uncontrollable emotional frenzy, and no matter where you are in the world, it will find you and it will kill you. Nothing can stop it. If you're still with us, brace yourself for what these kids caught on camera. This TikTok clip was uploaded by a duo of friends who were just out on a scooty ride through the woods. What was meant to be just another fun, thrill-seeking day quickly spiraled into something out of a nightmare. What? As soon as they entered the fog-covered forest, they started hearing blood-curdling sounds echoing from the distance, screams that didn't sound human. It was as if multiple beings were crying out in distress or pain. Despite those horrifying sounds, the boys got off their scooty and walked close,
toward the noise, and then the camera caught something bizarre.
What? Tu vois là-bas? Putain, il y a un truc. Pardon. What? Tu l'as vu? Oui, j'ai vu.
A strange white figure appeared, peeking from behind a tree in the distance. Just watching them, they called out to it, but were immediately met with even louder, more aggressive shrieks.
Je sais pas. Il y a un truc blanc là-bas. Oh! Putain!
That was all they needed to bolt back to their scooty, the screams continuing to echo around them like something straight out of a horror movie. Now, I know what most of you are probably thinking: foxes, maybe mountain lions, since they're known to produce screams that eerily resemble human voices. But I'm telling you right now, in all my life, I've never heard anything like this. For some, SCP-096 is nothing more than a fictional character, a creature of folklore or internet legend. But for these kids who witnessed it firsthand and heard its bone-chilling screams, this experience is something that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. I don't know about you guys, but I'll definitely be double-checking my windows and locking every door tonight. This next video from North Carolina captures something so terrifying, it sparked an entirely new cryptid debate. The fear surrounding this creature dates all the way back to December of 1953, when farmers began finding their livestock mysteriously slaughtered. Then, in the 1980s, a group of teenagers at Jones Lake claimed they saw a part man, part wolf creature and bolted from the area in absolute terror. For years, these were just stories, urban legends passed around campfires, until a dash cam video from March 1st, 2024 reignited the legend in Bladenboro. The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel 10th Legion Pictures, submitted by one of their subscribers. It shows raw dash cam footage from a late night drive home, with the road barely lit by headlights, until something truly terrifying crosses their path. Out of nowhere, a bizarre creature, half human, half dog, appears right in front of the car. The moment it's spotted, it bolts back into the dark forest. The creature looked massive, gritty, and covered in thick black fur. But what really stood out was the way it was standing, upright, like a humanoid. That posture alone was enough to send chills down your spine. Now, here's my personal take. Based on its posture and movement, it actually looked more like what people describe as a werewolf than the traditional dogman. I'll admit, there's a possibility it could be someone in a suit, maybe pulling a stunt. But without clearer footage or more evidence, I can't say anything for certain. What I can say is this: whatever that was, it didn't look like something that should belong in our forests. And if I ever saw that thing crossing the road in front of my car, I'd hit reverse and never look back. Creepy doesn't even begin to cover it. This girl was just out for a drive when she noticed something in the tree that nearly made her heart leap out of her chest.
And is literally climbing this tree. What is that?
The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Green-Eyed Okie 3 on March 13th, 2025, and it captures something seriously strange. At first glance, it looks like a person is hanging upside down from a tree branch, but as the camera zooms in, you realize it's not a person at all. It's actually the way the tree itself has grown, forming a bizarre humanoid shape. You can make out what looks like bent legs, arms, and even a head, clinging to the tree like it's crawling up it. Our brains are wired to recognize faces and human-like forms, especially where they shouldn't be. It's a psychological phenomenon called pareidolia, the same reason we see faces in clouds or Jesus in burnt toast. But honestly, that explanation doesn't make this any less creepy. Just imagine walking past that tree at night, Catching that silhouette out of the corner of your eye? Yeah, no thanks. A group of kids were strolling through the countryside when something in the background made them fear for their lives. This incident was so eerie that it was even picked up by several news outlets and online articles. It happened in the northwestern Argentine province of Tucumán, where a group of kids playing outside witnessed something that sent the internet into a frenzy. At the start of the video, we get a calm view of the field, but the shaky cam and panicked screams suggest something is seriously wrong. Then, suddenly, we spot it. In the distance, a small creature begins to emerge from the trees. It's hard to make out, but it appears to be covered in dark, blackish fur, and it's moving in a way that's just not right. And then, the worst part. This bizarre little being starts chasing after one of the girls, who breaks into a terrified sprint while crying out in fear. The clip quickly went viral and reignited an intense debate about cryptids, especially goblins. According to folklore, goblins are small, grotesque, and often mischievous creatures, known for their greed and trickery. Most stories trace them back to European legends, but if this footage is real, it suggests something far more global. Honestly, it doesn't matter if it's a prank, a puppet, or something truly unexplainable. It's creepy as hell. And the way that girl screamed, that wasn't acting. If you live in Boston, you might want to start parking your car under a shed, because you never know when something like this might land right on your roof.
Gente, eu tô aqui em Boston, Massachusetts. Olha o que aconteceu.
Is it art or is it just shrapnel from SpaceX?
This bizarre video was uploaded to YouTube and quickly spread across social media platforms, showing what appears to be a straight-up extraterrestrial accident. In the footage, we see a car with something odd sitting on its hood, and as the camera gets closer, we get the shock of our lives. It looks like a small satellite, or maybe even a UFO, has crash-landed onto the car's bonnet, denting the metal and flattening the front tire. Onlookers are stunned, with phones out, recording every second. But if you pay attention, you'll notice something interesting: a CSA/ASC logo, which stands for the Canadian Space Agency. That detail alone raised a ton of eyebrows.
Tá todo mundo filmando aqui, até eu tô filmando, porque eu não sei o que é. Olha isso, parece mais uma nave espacial.
However, let me ease your mind. This isn't the beginning of a satellite invasion. It turns out this is most likely part of an art installation or a public gallery project. Similar photos of satellites crashing onto cars have popped up online, and they all share the same surreal vibe. Also, if a real satellite did fall from orbit, that car would be nothing but smoking debris. Satellites re-enter the atmosphere at speeds over 17,000 miles per hour, creating so much friction and heat that most of them burn up long before hitting the ground. So yeah, this was definitely an art piece, but man, the way that car was parked right in the middle of the street with that thing planted on top, it was so perfectly done, I almost believed we were dealing with a real crash from orbit. Speaking of things crashing down from orbit, this next video from Florida looks like something straight out of an apocalyptic movie. This footage was uploaded over 7 years ago by the news channel On Demand News on YouTube, and it captures an incredibly rare and awe-inspiring event. It was recorded from a driver's dash cam while he was heading home from work like any other day, until something absolutely bizarre happened. Out of nowhere, a glowing blue orb shoots down from the sky. Brilliant.
fast and terrifyingly silent, and just as suddenly as it appears, it vanishes. The driver can be heard reacting, clearly caught off guard by how sudden and surreal it all was. According to reports, this was a meteor streaking across the skies of Florida and Georgia. The U.S. National Weather Service stated they were trying to track down any remnants that might have reached the ground, but it's likely that it burned up completely as it entered the atmosphere.
What the f*** was that?
Now, this might not look terrifying at first glance until you remember that sometimes meteors do survive atmospheric entry, and when they do, the results can be catastrophic. Just think back to the Chelyabinsk meteor in Russia in 2013. That one didn't even directly hit the ground. It exploded mid-air, but it still injured over 1,000 people, shattered windows across the city, and caused widespread panic. Stuff like this really messes with my head. It's humbling and honestly a bit terrifying to realize that we're basically floating around in space, vulnerable to random space rocks that could end it all in an instant. Have you ever stumbled upon a gathering that just feels wrong? Yeah, I'm talking about cults, and not just the weird ones, but the truly sinister kind, like this. This video, along with several others in a compilation, was uploaded to TikTok by the user Specker, and honestly, the stuff captured in these clips is seriously bizarre, showing what appear to be actual cult activities happening right under our noses. The first clip shows a hiker who unexpectedly stumbled across a creepy ritual in the woods. A group of white hooded figures, along with a few children, stand eerily still in the middle of nowhere. The silence, the setting, and the sheer wrongness of the scene is enough to send chills down your spine. In another video, a tourist captures something equally strange. A cruise ship docked in Aruba, with people in full-body disposable overalls using a crane to remove what appears to be something large and covered. According to the person filming, the ship belongs to the Church of Scientology, a group many people have described as cult-like. And if you didn't know, Scientology was founded in 1954 and has a long controversial history. Then, there's this deeply unsettling clip showing members of the FFA, Future Farmers of America, standing up in perfect sync during a meeting. The vibe is completely off. It feels less like a student organization and more like a scene from a dystopian movie.
Why are we here?
Righteous Brotherhood.
Now, these are just a few moments that were caught on camera, but the truly disturbing thought, there are likely many more cult-like activities happening in secret, tucked away in forests, basements, or isolated towns, completely off the radar. So yeah, if you ever find yourself deep in the woods and hear chanting in a language you don't recognize, don't wait around to investigate. Just run in the opposite direction. If you live near the woods and sometimes get that strange feeling like you're being watched, trust your instincts, because sometimes it's not just in your head. This eerie footage comes from TikTok, uploaded by the page WV Paranormal, which usually shares paranormal sightings, but this one feels different. The video was filmed by a mother who was simply recording her child during a casual stroll through the park, but as she focused the camera on her kid, something truly unsettling crept into the background. When the video is zoomed in, you can clearly spot it, an alien-like head peeking from behind a tree, just calmly observing them. Its features eerily match the classic gray alien look we always see online. Elongated head, large black eyes, and pale skin. But for me, the most disturbing part isn't how it looks, it's how it's watching that child, silent, focused, as if studying.
I can't shake the thought. What did this creature want? What would have happened if the mother wasn't there? The kid was completely unaware, and honestly, it's lucky we didn't find out. If you ask me what the most terrifying and ferocious creature on this planet is, my answer, and I bet most of yours too, would be this absolute beast. This video was uploaded to YouTube and shows what a group of fishermen stumbled upon in the Atibaia River, Brazil. It begins with the camera focused on some thick bushes, and you can tell the fisherman is tense, nervously eyeing something just out of sight, and then the reason for his unease slithers into view. As the camera gets closer, we see it, a massive anaconda coiled up, its thick, scaly body twisting slowly through the brush. This thing is enormous, with a girth that could rival a tire, and judging by its coils, it's insanely long too. These living monsters are native to South America, and here's the unsettling part. They can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh around 550 pounds, which is heavier than 2 full-grown adults. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do they attack humans? Hate to break it to you, but yes, they can. It's rare, but not impossible. There's even a well-known case involving Paul Rosalie, the host of a Discovery Channel show, who got a little too close for comfort. He was attacked by an anaconda that tried to swallow his arm. Whether all those wild anaconda attack stories are real or not, one thing is absolutely clear to me. You do not want to surprise a hungry anaconda in its own swamp. We all love watching butterflies flutter, but trust me, you won't feel the same after seeing this larvae in action. This video was uploaded to YouTube by Joe Myers, and at first glance, it looks like the roots of a tree in transparent soil. What you're actually looking at isn't a plant or tree. It's a real-time video of the Brazilian skipper caterpillar, whose transparent body gives us a glimpse into its inner workings. As the caterpillar breathes, you can see its internal organs moving, along with the delicate nerves and veins beneath its semi-transparent skin. While the Brazilian skipper caterpillar isn't entirely transparent, its body has an almost glass-like quality, allowing it to blend seamlessly into its surroundings. When it first hatches, the skin can appear translucent, especially around its tail, giving it a haunting, ghostly appearance. This almost ethereal quality makes it even more unnerving, especially for anyone unlucky enough to stumble upon it deep in the jungle. When this man went hiking, the last thing he thought he'd see was Bigfoot. At first, he thought it was just a bear, and honestly, I get it. You don't expect to run into Bigfoot in the middle of the woods, right? But the more he watched, the less it looked like a bear. It looked more like a giant monkey, and when it stood up and walked away, that's when things got really weird. It didn't walk on 4 legs, it moved like a person, like it was standing on 2 feet the whole time. Did you catch that too? This man lives in South Carolina. One evening, when he came back home, he heard a loud noise coming from the top of a tree near his front door.
I hope you can hear this. It sounds like gorillas fighting in the tree. They're breaking limbs bigger around than me.
At first, he thought it was just an animal, something climbing around, maybe a raccoon or a big bird. But then the sound got worse. Something was snapping big branches, loud and fast. Whatever it was strong, and it didn't sound friendly.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. This is the second time I've come over here. And the first time when I got up under them trying to figure out what it was, they started breaking limbs off and throwing them at me. And I still cannot figure out what it is. Look, they're ruining this freaking place. What in God's name is it? It's bigger than me, whatever it is. Because it's breaking limbs off that it would take me 2 minutes to saw.
The man is correct. If this were a regular person, it would take a few minutes just to break a branch that big, but most people couldn't even climb that high in a tree to begin with. When the first branch came crashing down, he knew that whatever was up there had hands. The only thing that made sense was Bigfoot. Now, I know some people think something that big couldn't climb a tree, but people all over America have shared photos of trees broken in really strange ways. Not storm damage, not lightning, just snapped in weird, unnatural ways. To make things even stranger, people started posting pictures of tree trunks with strange marks. And if you've ever seen what bear claws look like on a tree, you know the marks are sharp and clear, but these look different. So maybe it's not that crazy to think this man really saw Bigfoot, right? A lot of people have searched for Bigfoot, but not many have gotten a photo like this man did. If you ask me, it's kind of hard to believe someone just snapped a clear picture of Bigfoot standing next to a tree like that. And honestly, I always thought Bigfoot would be taller. What do you think? Is this picture fake or is it real? And maybe one of the best proofs we've seen that Bigfoot is actually out there. A father and his kids were walking along a river near Calgary, Canada, when they saw something big and hairy behind the trees. At first, they thought it was just a normal animal, but when they got closer, the creature stood up on 2 legs.
Look. That's not human. It's not a human. The face is here at first, but no. That is not a human.
Calgary is near the Rocky Mountains, with lots of forests, mountains, and places people don't go. Some parts are so thick with trees, it's easy to believe something could hide there. If Bigfoot is real, this seems like the perfect place for it to live, right? Also, people from native tribes around Alberta have told stories for centuries about big, hairy people living deep in the forest. These stories came long before the name Bigfoot was even a thing. So maybe this really was a Bigfoot. Most people think Bigfoot only lives in the deep woods of the Pacific Northwest, but you might be surprised that there are a lot of reports from New York State too. One of those reports is this photo a man took using a trail camera. It might sound hard to believe, but if you really look at a map, New York has plenty of thick forests and mountains where something like Bigfoot could hide. This picture was taken near Beacon, a city by the Hudson River, in a valley known for strange events and weird stories going way back. But if you look closely at the photo, there's something even stranger. Is it just me, or does this look like Bigfoot? Maybe a female carrying babies on her back. Call me crazy, but I swear I see one more small furry head right there. The City of Portland's Environmental Services said one of their trail cameras caught a video of something that looks like Bigfoot. The footage was taken in a natural area that was fixed up as part of the city's water and habitat restoration work. And before you say the picture is too blurry to tell, hold on, because the trail camera also got a second photo, and this one is much clearer. City officials said that after the ecosystem was restored, lots of animals came back to live there, so why not Bigfoot too? The photos show a figure walking through the forest at night. It even stops for a moment on a small bridge that connects 2 wetlands. Because they want to protect the area and any wild animals that might live there, the city hasn't shared the exact location. And honestly, the fact that these photos were shared by the city, not just random people online, makes them feel way more real to me. What do you think? A boy went into the forest to film a short vlog about how to survive outdoors, but he had no idea he would catch something really creepy on camera.
This is Man vs. Wild, and I'm going to show you how to survive in this beautiful forest. First thing you'll need is some sticks. With sticks, we can make a campfire. So let's gather some up at once. They won't light that well. Okay, so we got these ones. They won't light that well.
While he was talking about building a fire and making a shelter, he went off to collect some sticks. He didn't turn off the camera, so it kept recording, and what it caught next will send chills down your spine. Behind the branches, a dark, hairy figure moved by. It looked more like Bigfoot than a bear, because if you look at the trees nearby, you can tell it was really tall. But that's not the only strange part. From the beginning, you could tell something else was in the forest. Someone, or something, was throwing stones behind him. If you missed it, don't worry. We'll show it again in slow motion so you can see it clearly. Whatever this thing was, it didn't seem friendly. Maybe it was throwing the stones as a warning, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. Some creatures are better left deep in the forest, far away from people. The most important thing is, this boy made it out safe. A strange photo showed up on social media, and people say it shows a baby Bigfoot watching two deer. The figure is blurry and hard to see, and if you ask me, it's kind of weird that even with all the new phones and cameras we have today, photos like this still look like they were taken with the first digital cameras. Still, that didn't stop people online from believing it. Some even shared an interesting theory that it's not Bigfoot, but something called a squatchlet. They say squatchlets are cryptids like Bigfoot, just smaller and even more mysterious. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of that word before. The next photo comes from a trail camera set up deep in the forest. The person who placed the camera shared the image online and asked people what they think the animal is. Most people said it looks like an orangutan, but if you look at the forest in the photo, you'll see lots of fallen leaves. That's why the orangutan theory doesn't make sense. Orangutans don't live in forests like this. They live in tropical rainforests and only in Southeast Asia, mostly in Indonesia. That's nowhere near the thick forests of the Pacific Northwest, where Bigfoot is said to live. To me, this might be the best photo of Bigfoot ever taken, and if someone asked me what I think Bigfoot looks like, I'd say just like this, with long wild hair. Other pictures sometimes look like someone in a cheap costume, but this looks real. Don't you think so too? On January 22nd, 2020, the Washington State Department of Transportation posted a tweet with photos from a webcam on Sherman Pass along State Route 20. What caught people's attention is that one of the photos shows a figure that looks like a human-shaped silhouette standing next to a tree. People had different reactions. Some thought it was funny. Others said it was clear proof that Bigfoot is real. But of course, skeptics said it was just a shadow or some kind of visual trick. Washington State, especially the eastern part, is one of the top places in the US for Bigfoot sightings. And when you look at how thick and hard to reach these forests are, it's not really that surprising. Groups that track Bigfoot sightings have recorded hundreds of reports across the country since the 1960s. Sherman Pass is one of those places with a long history and lots of strange stories. Is it all just a coincidence? I don't think so. A hunter named Rick Jacobs caught a strange figure on camera in the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. He used an automatic trail camera, and what it recorded was a large creature walking on all fours. At first, the picture looks confusing and unclear. Some people said it looks like a primate, or maybe even a young Bigfoot. Others think it's just a bear. But here's the thing. I've never seen a full-grown bear that skinny, and judging by the size, this would have to be an adult. Still, some groups that study animals gave another explanation that supports the bear theory. They say it could be a bear with a bad case of mange. Mange makes bears lose their fur, and that can make them look really strange, sometimes even human-like. Take a look at the picture yourself and decide, do these sick bears look like a creature captured by Rick? A team of meteorologists from the National Weather Service was out in the field checking storm damage. While they were taking photos, they noticed a figure that looked a lot like Bigfoot behind a fallen tree. The figure looks about the size of a human, maybe even bigger, and it's seen walking through the woods in the background of one of the photos. This happened in the Allegheny Mountains, north of West Virginia, a place known for its thick forests and old local legends. And like we've said before, if you really look at how big and endless these forests are, it's easy to see that people haven't explored most of them, especially the deep parts, far from any roads or towns. We're always curious and out exploring, so who's to say Bigfoot isn't doing the same? Maybe this was one of those Bigfoots who just wandered a little too close to people by accident. Doug Teague went for a walk in the forest to check his trail cameras, hoping they had picked up something interesting during the night. But what he didn't expect was that he would be the one to catch something creepy on camera.
He's still up here. Or something's up here. He's moving. He's moving, he's moving, he's moving. Daisy, come here. Daisy, come here.
While walking, Doug saw a strange creature on top of a ridge. He didn't want to take any chances, so he decided to head back. But even on his way back, he found proof that what he saw might be real, something he had only heard about in stories before that moment.
I want to do a quick little video here. Me and Crazy Daisy has followed these tracks. This is the best one of them. I'm going to try to cast it. Stepped on a limb. And it goes, let's see. A little bit where he smashed. See the toes. There's toes.
Huge footprints showed up on the path in front of him. And not just that, Doug had to take a few steps just to reach the next print. That means whatever made them had really big feet and was very large. Maybe the same creature that left those tracks is the one Doug saw behind the branches.
Ever felt like someone's watching you while walking alone? Well, this hiker experienced just that and decided to record what he sensed. In a forest, he felt eyes fixated on him, prompting him to open his camera. What he captured was a black figure peering directly at him from behind a tree. This mysterious being was stalking the hiker, completely unaware of being spotted. The creature, like others we have seen in previous clips, appeared quite humanoid and was covered in thick black fur. To me, it resembled a Bigfoot, but it's hard to say for sure since the video was recorded from a distance, making the facial features less visible. What are your thoughts on this stalking creature? Could it be a Bigfoot? Or might it be something even more terrifying? The video leaves us with a sense of mystery and intrigue about what lurks in the depths of the forest. While on a forest road trip in California, a family encountered an eerie sight captured in front of their car's headlights. As they traversed a desolate forest road, the camera revealed a massive, hairy creature staring directly at them from the dark woods. The creature, covered in thick black fur, exhibited a humanoid posture and body frame. The eerie aspect of the clip lay in the mysterious identity of this creature, which seemed to be patiently waiting in the woods, creating a chilling atmosphere, as if anticipating someone's arrival to carry out its unknown intentions. It is advisable to keep driving in such situations unless faced with an extreme emergency to avoid potential encounters with such unsettling entities.
If you live near the woods and feel like you're being watched, you should. This video captured what's actually out there.
But later when I got home, I zoomed in and slowed it down and saw this.
This video was uploaded on July 5th, 2022 by a TikTok user named CarolineArn1984, whose account usually features lighthearted content, daily life moments, fun memories, and entertaining clips. But on that day, she posted something that shook the entire internet.
Do you ever get a feeling that something's watching you? The dogs kept looking up into the trees.
She was out on a peaceful walk with her dog, enjoying the beauty of nature and the calming view of a lake. Surrounded by the serene landscape, Carolina couldn't resist pulling out her phone to capture the moment. But when she uploaded the video, it wasn't the scenery that caught her audience's attention. It was something lurking in the background.
The trees, and at one point I heard something. There's the original video, but I didn't see anything at the time.
Did you catch it? If not, don't worry. Carolina herself edited the video and zoomed in on the trees in the distance. And that's when the internet collectively lost its mind.
But later, when I got home, I zoomed in and slowed it down and saw this.
A massive dark figure can be seen moving in the woods. Some people online tried to brush it off as a gorilla or an ape. But here's the thing. The region where this was filmed has no native primate population. So if we rule that out, the only explanation left, based on the black fur-covered body, tall upright stance, and unmistakably humanoid movement, is the one that's been haunting legends for decades: Bigfoot.
But later, when I got home, I zoomed in and slowed it down and saw this.
It's clips like these that truly send chills down your spine. When creatures that are said to hide from human eyes accidentally get caught on camera like this, it really makes you wonder, what else is hiding in our forests that we've yet to discover? Hiking is usually a relaxing and soothing experience until the black unknown decides to show itself.
You see that right there?
A channel named Bigfoot King uploaded a video on August 27th, 2024, featuring a hiker venturing deep into the woods. From the start of the video, it's clear the hiker is on edge, almost as if he's searching for something or someone in the dense forest.
Okay, where are you? Straight up front.
Suddenly, the source of his fear emerges from the distant trees.
Fucking there.
It's a massive, black creature among the trees, covered in thick, dark fur, with a humanoid-shaped head. The hiker, unsure of what he's seeing, initially dismisses it as some kind of tree structure. But then, this happens.
You see that right there?
The creature moves, and that's when the hiker falls into full panic mode. You can even hear a tree snap as the camera shakes from his frantic movements.
That is fucking moving right there.
In a state of nervousness and panic, the hiker changes his position, frustrated that he didn't bring his professional camera to document what he's witnessing. But then, the hiker manages to capture something that's been eluding him.
One more time. One more time.
Right between the trees, you can see the black fur of the creature hiding, its massive form barely visible. The tension is palpable as the hiker, still without his main camera, tries to track down the creature in the dense woods. This video offers some truly thought-provoking evidence that our forests might be hiding far more than we ever imagined. Perhaps creatures that exist only in our wildest nightmares. Reddit, a treasure trove of information, also hosts videos like this that make us question what's real and what's not. This video was uploaded to the Slapped Ham subreddit, where users often share paranormal and unexplained videos. The post, made by the user Haunted Luca, features footage from his hiking trip to the Sunshine Coast hinterland in Australia. The hiking trip went smoothly until the hiker reviewed the footage and noticed something strange. Right there, in front of us, behind some torn tent pieces in the bushes, is a dark, shadowy figure standing still. The hiker didn't notice it at the time, but the camera managed to capture it. At first, it might look like just dark bushes, but as the hiker walks a little further, the camera captures it. The figure actually moves behind the tree as the hiker gets closer, almost as if it's hiding from him. A little later in the video, the dark mass is still visible, standing out as a large, ominous patch in the bushes. Maybe it's just the bushes, or perhaps our minds are playing tricks, making it seem like the figure is moving. But after watching the video countless times, it becomes clearer every time that something's there. The hiker is convinced it was the elusive Bigfoot, and honestly, after seeing that, what else could it be? These guys were enjoying feeding their rabbits when a strange noise outside unsettled them.
Yeah. What? Yeah, there's something back there.
This eerie video comes from the Ms. Big Stevie YouTube channel, uploaded 15 years ago. The channel only has this one video, which seems to have been created solely to share this unsettling experience. The video begins with Stevie and his friend happily feeding their newly acquired rabbits. They're laughing and enjoying the moment when suddenly they hear a strange noise coming from outside.
You don't want that shit.
Do you hear something outside?
Yeah,
Curious and a bit uneasy, Stevie goes to check it out. There, he sees something that looks like an animal crouching in the shadows. However, that's when they decide to turn on the lights to get a better look. And let's just say, things quickly take a terrifying turn.
There's something like
crouching down there.
Yeah, could you get the light?
As the light turned on, they saw a strange creature crouching in their backyard. When Stevie knocks on the door, the creature suddenly becomes alert and jumps away.
Yeah. What? Yeah, there's something back there.
Thinking it might be a cat, a fox, or some other common animal, they go outside to investigate. But what they find is even more bizarre. The creature moves to the end of the backyard, and instead of running or walking like a typical animal, it simply vanishes over the fence.
Where did it go?
What in the world was that thing? Stevie speculates it could have been a Mothman, but commenters are offering other theories, suggesting it could be an alien, the Flatwoods Monster, or something even stranger. Whatever it was, it might have been attracted to the smell of the bunnies, or perhaps the carrots, and got startled when Stevie and his friend appeared. Next, we have a video that led the famous Canadian survivalist Les Stroud to embark on an all-out Bigfoot hunt.
Little humanoid, covered in hair. I gotta get to my car. APV. Oh, calling all park rangers. If you don't hear back from
This video comes from a park ranger who ventured into the boreal forests of Alberta, Canada, to investigate a series of alleged Bigfoot attacks on park rangers. As he navigates the dense woods, he records his experience, scanning the surroundings, until he spots something strange.
On History Channel, we're finding that a lot of teenagers are coming out here.
At first, he dismisses a shadowy figure in the trees, assuming it's just a tree trunk. But as the ranger continues his search, things take an unexpected turn.
Some strange things, you know, trying to create a clamor about it.
Suddenly, he notices a black figure peering from behind a tree, seemingly stalking him. The creature, now aware of the ranger's presence, reacts aggressively, its terrifying scream echoing through the forest.
Putting in overtime at the park. What's that? What is that? I never thought this could be possible, but I think that's a biped. Jesus Christ, that's a biped.
It's clear this is a bipedal creature, covered in thick black hair. The ranger, realizing the danger, rushes back toward his car as quickly as he can, but the creature's screams continue in the background, sending chills down his spine. As he calls for backup, something even more terrifying happens, something that sends shockwaves across the entire internet.
Covered in hair. I gotta get to my car. APB, calling all park rangers.
As the ranger nears the parking area, the camera suddenly goes black, and we hear his piercing screams for help. It's clear he's being attacked by whatever this creature is. The video abruptly ends there.
We need to. It's a serious situation out here. If you don't hear back from.
This shocking footage was what led the Discovery Channel to get involved and send Les Stroud after the elusive beast. I knew Bigfoot encounters were unsettling, but terrifying like this? I definitely wouldn't want to experience that myself. Embark on an up-close exploration of one of nature's more ethereal creations, captured in this video where a man holds a fascinating creature in his hand. The fish's mouth is notably sharp and pointed, resembling an arrowhead, which adds to its unusual and striking appearance. This pointed mouth is likely an adaptation to its natural environment, helping it catch its prey in the cold waters it usually inhabits. Transparency in fish, like that seen in the ice fish, is an extraordinary adaptation. It's often a form of camouflage, making the fish nearly invisible to predators and prey in the water. Despite being out of water in this video, the ice fish retains its see-through appearance, allowing us to marvel at its unique physiology up close. This type of fish is a very interesting sight to see, and thanks to the video, we have the opportunity to dive in the diversity of the nature. Imagine peering to human environment. Step into the quiet world of a field at night, observed through the watchful eye of a trail camera. The deer turns to face the camera directly, and what unfolds next is a captivating display. It begins to move its hind legs in an unusual manner, almost as if it's performing a dance. This peculiar behavior is fascinating, seeming as though the deer is aware of the camera's presence and has decided to put on a show, or perhaps it's engaging in a natural behavior that just happens to resemble a dance. This unexpected dance could be a spontaneous display of playfulness, or a rare behavior triggered by the deer's interaction with its environment. possibly even a response to the infrared light or the slight sound from the camera. I find this video very interesting, as it seems like the deer is aware that it is being filmed and decided to set up a show. Bigfoot believers, assemble. This next clip is straight from a trail camera deep in the heart of a forest, and let me tell you, it's gonna tingle your beliefs. The footage you just watched was captured by a trail camera originally set up to monitor the fox population in the area. However, it unexpectedly recorded a large, hairy figure passing in front of it. The proximity of the figure to the camera only allows for the middle part of its body to be visible. Even from this limited perspective, it's evident that the creature possesses a tall humanoid stature, as inferred from its walking pattern, and the heavy footsteps it produces, which means it can't be a bear. With its thick body hair and humanoid gait, this entity strongly resembles the legendary Bigfoot. While we can't say for certain it's 100% Bigfoot without seeing the whole thing. But one thing's for sure, this ain't your average woodland critter. What do you think, Bigfoot or something else? Have you ever gotten that creepy feeling at night? You know, that prickle on the back of your neck, like unseen eyes are burning into your every move? We all brush it off sometimes. But what if there really was something out there?
In the bush. Look at that.
This chilling video from Florida was captured by a guy who just couldn't shake that feeling. As he was passing a bush, he heard some noise coming from within. He shone his flashlight into the bushes, convinced something was stalking him. To his surprise, a pair of eyes glinted right back. Intrigued, and maybe a little foolish, our cameraman walks right towards them. Now, here's where things get seriously weird. As he gets closer, another set of eyes appears way up high, way above the first. By the time he reaches the original eyes, it turns out to be just a wildcat, ready to pounce. Definitely a threat, but not exactly the monster we were expecting. The real mystery here, those other eyes. Their height suggests something much bigger, something truly formidable lurking in the shadows. This footage is just giving me goosebumps. For more interesting footage, check this out.